So they just dropped the progression for Call of Duty Black Ops 7. We're going to go through a lot of the various details, progression challenges, other intel on campaign and zombies, stats for multiplayer and zombies, and then customization. We'll kind of breeze through because we don't want a video to be 30 minutes. Normal level progression, you'll be able to level up in the campaign, multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone. Level 55, if you choose to stop there, will give you access to basically all the unlockables, and then all the other cosmetics through prestiging you get, or all the other things that you want from that. You can continue on that path. The leveling should be pretty fast with so many different challenges. If you play the campaign, maybe you're going to be level 50, then you jump into multiplayer. If you like to diversify your play style and the modes you play, you want to mix it up. Maybe SBMM, even though it's reduced, is still like you don't want to lock in. You go jump in zombie. There's quite a bit of content when it comes to the game. You're going to be able to level up. And as you can see here, when you do level up, you're getting access to multiple things for the various modes. Pretty straightforward. If you've played COD, that's kind of how it generally works. You're going to get access to the various things in the loadout, weapons, equipment, field upgrades, perks, all that normal stuff. Then you get access to prestige. And again, this is a global system, so it's not like Black Ops 4 where you prestige in blackout differently than multiplayer. And even different than zombies. This one will be all linked together, so all your time spent in any mode doesn't feel like it's wasteful in any way. And it gives you an opportunity to try out the campaign. Maybe you wouldn't ordinarily play it. Maybe zombies, you wouldn't ordinarily play it. Knowing that you can get this shared progression across the board is like a huge plus for the game to diversify into it. We get all the various icons, kind of what those are like. And these are always kind of funny because a lot of people get so hyper fixated that they must be AI, even though I don't think anyone's actually proven that they're AI. So I don't know. Either way, I don't care. They're a little icon that you get. Cool. And then again, you can choose to prestige. If you do level reset, you will get a prestige token. Everything gets relocked. Usually by the time you 4th or 5th prestige, you have everything you want. And if you're going for camos, a lot of times you'll use those prestige tokens on high level weapon unlocks that are unlocked at level 53, level 55. So you can actually work on those camo grinds and don't need them at the end. The same way you needed like level 50 or whatever on a melee weapon in Black Ops 6. So you get all those. That's a little bit more of a zoomed up one. And then Prestige Master. Wait, this is classified? So I guess you get something for hitting level 1000 probably? Because that's the only thing after Prestige Master. After you hit Prestige 10 and then you hit level 55 again. It has all these various unlocks that you're going to get for the things. Like I said, we'll zoom through. Prestige 1, you're going to get an operator skin. Looks pretty cool. I like the aesthetic of it. And then we also have, looks like some different wraps. That's a blueprint. Okay, so it's not a camo. It'll be specific to that weapon. And then from 2 through 10, first look, you get these. This is another blueprint for the shotgun. A zombies looking skin for the operator. A weapon, another blueprint. Another zombies looking skin. Another blueprint. And these look kind of cool. This one looks like a dirty, like there's almost like tar on it. And again, that one's Prestige 7 with another blueprint. This one I like a lot. It's super simple, clean. And then another one of these. The heck? So Patient 0. And this is another operator skin. And for me personally, since I don't actively engage with the store and I don't spend all this money on microtransactions, this is like more important to me than a lot of times what they're going to offer in the store, because I think once you buy a game, you really shouldn't be spending more money on the game. That's just kind of like more old school thinking. If the game was free to play like Warzone, I guess is, maybe you pay for skins, whatever. But these are like the skins, and as they add more, that's cool. Those are the things I like going for and grinding for because they require effort and not, oh cool, I spent 20 bucks and now I got the skin. Kind of devalues it if you can't actually actively grind towards it. So I'm a bigger fan of these types of things than microtransaction slop. But it is what it is. Then you get Prestige Master, which is probably the crazier of the skins. I think most of those seem pretty grounded. This one has some like devil horns on it, but it matches that little prestige icon for Prestige Master. So I don't know. And you can see the redacted one at level 1000, and you'll unlock those different ones the same way you did. And it looks like you get some colorways, which I think you could change your name to actually look different colors in game as you reach these various 100 to 1000 milestones for every 100. So it's just a demon skin. Then you get this blueprint for the AK-27. All right, so pretty straightforward on the progression. Okay, there is the colorway. So you get fire and ice, and you can see it changes the color on the icon. So yeah, you're gonna have a bunch of those. That looks like it's the synthwave one. So each of these are at 100. So 100, you get the color there, and it goes all the way through. And then the last one's gonna be like that rainbow. All right, cool. More cosmetics that you can grind in game, color and title. And then these are the same thing we've had before. So overview of camos and attachments. So before diving into specifics, how you can unlock weapon camos and particular attachments for your weapon is worth listing some new innovations in the progression and all these different unlock methods so you know how to keep track of everything. Let's start with improvement to camo unlocks and other innovations. So you'll be able to have a quick overview, which is kind of cool. So it's all listed there. And it'll be more readable. So this system is kind of what we've already had, but it just looks a little bit cleaner. They've optimized it with a little bit of quality of life stuff. And then attachments, when you do it, not all attachments, or not all weapons have attachments. They are not available for launchers and melee weapons. So yeah, for the 26 weapons or whatever, you will have that. So you could have the weapon level. You can see it prestiges. Once you prestige, you can go up to level 250. So that one's marked with a 110 on that. If you really want to go that far. And then it has a diamond. Is that like your favorited? Okay, so that is the prestige attachment, is this little diamond. You can see right here, it's labeled as a prestige attachment. So that's how you get that. As we looked over in the last blog where they kind of broke down all 30 or so prestige attachments, there's probably 3 or 4 that are going to be like really good and probably worth, prestiging the weapon for. But for the vast majority, they're not all that crazy. They're marginal differences, and maybe like hardcore min-max meta, you might want to do them, but you're not going to be at a huge disadvantage for not prestiging if you don't have the time and want to go through that grind. So it's just going to be one of those things. The camos, we've already seen a lot of these with video. A lot of these are animated. As you can see, animated, and then the rest are not animated there. But there's tons for each of the game modes and all that stuff. Career, loadout, camo challenges, weapon camos. I mean, there's a lot. They're hooking us up with all those types of things. And they're pretty straightforward. For the campaign, it's going to be critical kills, multiplayer headshots, zombies, critical kills, and then Warzone will be eliminations. And one thing they've done with this is they've actually lowered the number. So it should theoretically be faster to get gold and through all the different camos. I think instead of 100 headshots, it's 80, and I think instead of 2,000 crits in zombies, it's only 1,000. So it's a little bit more manageable, and you don't have to be on a gun as long. And on top of that, the weapon leveling is supposed to be faster. So if you just want something to do mindlessly, there's tons to do. If you want to just play the game, there's tons to do in there as well. You don't have to like actually know life the challenges to unlock all the various stuff, and you can kind of see each category that they're going through for the specific camos. And then the specialty camos, there's going to be 3 of those. Once you've gone through and done all your headshots or whatever the case is, you will be set up on that. So right here, you can see that for zombies, you got to get up to 1,000, which is kind of what I just said. So pretty good there. And then the special camos, these are going to be unique to each weapon. And then, so for this one, you need with 8 attachments equipped, get 150 eliminations, and that's in the campaign, and get 150 with the rare or higher rarity, and then get 3 kills rapidly with that. So technically, you can get all 3 of those done at the same time. If you go in, get your stuff up to rare. I'm not really sure how the end game stuff works. We got a little bit of a trailer, and I know I'm going to be grinding at the first day to just get to the end game. So I'll be able to have content on that type of stuff if people are interested in what the camo grind, what the progression, the leveling, the actual end game stuff on that is. Because there's a lot to cover when it comes to Call of Duty this year with multiplayer zombies and the campaign quite a bit. And then Warzone, whatever they end up doing 6 or 7 months from now after this integration. So it kind of just goes through. There's a ton of stuff in here. There's giving you all those various examples. And then you get the mastery camo for this one as well. So mastery camos must be unlocked individually per weapon basis. And once unlocked, can only be used on that weapon. But the results are worth it. So there it is, animated. And these are the specific 4 campaign ones. Genesis, the co-op campaign, multiplayer has theirs. So we've already seen a lot of these with videos, so I won't lean on it too much. That one's sick. Ooh, like a snake skin. That's the Mamba skin right there. And then we got, damn, that one is super cool. This one looked way better than the video. They must have updated that one. This one looks way better in game because it actually has like a three-dimensional thing where it looks like the gears, like you could actually reach in and interact with the gears. And then we got more. There's so much. And then Warzone's going to have its own skins as well. That one's really, I like this one quite a bit. And then the Molten Apocalypse one. Very cool. So quite a bit of camos, regardless of what mode you want to play. And camos aren't necessarily always just the content. Like I said, the gameplay is the content, but this gives you something to passively grind, especially since the challenges have gotten significantly easier. It's made it so that you can grind those things pretty easily as well. So quite a bit there. Weapon leveling. The first part of the progression involves you leveling up your weapon as normal. Start leveling, and then you unlock attachments, reach maximum level. Double XP tokens are extremely useful when shortening this. Yes, too bad they're active all the time instead of in-game only. And then weapon prestige, and then you'll go ahead and reset that. What I would like to see done with this is kind of like a similar concept of what Arc Raiders is doing. I know a lot of people are enjoying that game. I've enjoyed it. I got like 100 hours in it. But what I would say is when you prestige the weapon, you should get bonus XP on that gun. That would be a cool quality of life. The same way that the prestige is going to work in Arc Raiders to incentivize you to prestige. It'll be even faster the second time you do it because of that. So I don't know if it's too late for that, but that would be a cool little piece of feedback I have. That if you do prestige a weapon, you should be able to get granted additional XP on that weapon so that it could make the subsequent or future prestiges that much faster. And that level to 250, it's going to be a grind. That is definitely not for everyone. That's for like a 1%er type thing. And people who don't play any other games, which is a lot of people apparently, especially Black Ops 6, reportedly the most sold game for PS5 in the life cycle of PS5. In all of PS5, they've sold more copies on there for Black Ops 6 than any. So there are a lot of people who play COD all year round and they don't play other games. Unfortunate, because there's a lot of great games, but it is what it is. So then you go through, you prestige again. And then so these are kind of like just making some of the things a little bit more concrete that we've already heard about or talked about for the past months. And we're like less than 24 hours away from the game coming out. So a lot of this is just more like, hey, just so you know, this is how the progression works. And I'm all for it. There's tons of stuff. Reticle, insane. Where's the blue dot, bro? I don't want blue square. Where's blue dot? All right, cool. Those are multiplayer. This one's pretty good. The zombies green pinpoint. I'm not really a fan of the other ones. What the heck are these? The Warzone ones? So that's all for those specific ones. Daily challenges, the weekly challenges, calling card challenges, Black Ops, the Dark Ops challenge. They have so much stuff to do in this game. If you actually like Call of Duty, you are set for the year. Like that is how much content there is, which I'm all for. Because I think when you pay $70 for a game, it should provide you with enough content to keep you going for a long period of time. A lot of games miss this mark. They give you about 15 to 20 hours, maybe 50 hours on the top end. But Call of Duty's looking like it's providing hundreds of hours if you actually want to engage with multiple of the systems, multiple of the modes, and those types of things. Even Wonder Weapons have mastery stuff. So stat tracking. As you'd expect, previous matches and entire Black Ops 7 career is being tracked across multiple modes. It's worth checking out your progress in 3 different ways. You get the combat record, which is cool. Medal collection, and then what else we got? Leaderboards. Cool. So quite a bit there. I know I gave some feedback on leaderboards, so I wonder if they'll have some of those things implemented once we open the game. And then the weekly challenges. Preseason and then in season 1. New loadout item every week. What the heck, man? There's almost too much to cover in this thing. Like I said, I didn't want to make it 30 minutes, but overall, you get the levels and you get the different items that you're going to get throughout those. Either way, usually it takes around 7 to 10 hours to reach prestige the first time. If you're above average player, below average player, probably 15 hours. And then you're maxed out. You don't need to prestige if you don't want to. Like I said, that's a completely optional system. So overall, a quick breeze through. We got to look at a lot of this is like a speed run on the content in terms of what they're going to provide. But starting tomorrow, we got tons of stuff in terms of settings, videos, guides, tips and tricks, how-tos, level up that. So make sure you subscribe, notifications on, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. See you on the next one. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.